I just realized that I am wearing my teddy bear slash penguin thingamajig that is keeping me warm. I am filming this video the same night that Cyril Ramaphosa threw us with a word salad. But are we surprised though? It felt like a school project, an oral test of some sort. What will you do when you open your own country in 1,000 words? And then you stand in front of the class and then you give us a word salad. Because what you're telling us in a country that takes itself serious would have done back then. But in the word salad, I counted 3 times where we were being reminded, not almost like reminded, but more like there's nothing much we can do about this because of the international community, treaties and conventions, international law. There's nothing we can do. That's why Cyril Ramaphosa, in my opinion, was not robust, was not decisive, and also he was not clear. And a president that is robust is a president that realizes the problem. And the decisions, they have to be decisive, like as of tomorrow, the 8th of June, 2026, if you are going to be, and you are illegal in this country, and you are going to be going to work, there will be roadblocks. And in those roadblocks, you are going to be arrested because you are illegally in the country. Not all human dignity, and also let's not forget international law. Whoever you're bowing down to up there really has you by your pair, Mr. President. From where I am seated, it looks like that. You almost went where I wanted you to go when it comes to the ownership of South Africa. That South Africa belongs to South Africans and it ends there. But then you say it you have to actually read between the lines if that's what you are saying. Like you're throwing shade at whoever is pulling the strings, that South Africa is for South Africans. But also now you also want to appease them by saying international law, human dignity. That's the problem, Mr. President, that has brought us where we are. The so-called international laws and dignity of others. We know when you say dignities of others, you're not talking about us. We know that. You're talking about the illegal aliens that you still have not put a clear path. How are they going to leave South Africa? And when will that be? You know, like in every project, there's a deadline. It begins on this day and it ends on this day. And by the time it ends on this day, at least 95% of the work would have been done. No, you still leave us hanging high and dry. And then you make soft threats to South Africans, particularly those that are on social media. I caught it, Mr. President. And you made terms very broad. Let's say a creator on TikTok says something like this. Fellow South Africans, South Africa is our country. This is our community. Since we do not have the authority to make citizens arrests, then we can call the police, because guess what? We have these people that are illegally in the country living in our communities. Some are even our next door neighbors. That's an illegal. That person is breaking the laws of the country. So when I call the SAPS and say, hey, umakhelwane wami is a illegal foreigner, will that put me in trouble with you because your threat opened a lot of doors for interpretation, and you can deem what I'm saying that a South African will say on social media as being, what's the word you use? What's the word did you use? There's so many words actually you used. Hatred, sowing divisions. Is that what I will be in trouble with? Because I didn't understand. I think there needs to be a clear definition. I understand what incitement is. Incitement is quite clear. Is when somebody is calling for violence, and I don't call for that. I don't support that, and I don't think any South African supports that. And we've said it millions of times on our platforms that anybody that loots, anybody that beats up people, anybody that analyzes people, you stupid. Because that's a stupid thing to do. We will not support anybody that loots. And then when now they're in trouble, they want our help. They want us to donate for their lawyers. I did not send you. No South African sent you. You did this on your own because you're stupid. So incitement, I don't support it at all. But I do believe I have a right to express myself about my community, that I want it to be illegal foreigner clean. And the only way I can get my community cleaned is calling the police. Now, another thing that I was expecting from the president, if the so-called authorities are not executing their duties, for example, you call the police, hey, my next door neighbor is an illegal foreigner, please come and pick him up. Indeed, they come and pick him up. But 2 days later, bam, he's back. What do we do then, Mr. President? And now we're no longer dealing with the illegal foreigner. What do we do with that authority figure, like the police officer that was supposed to make sure that this, my next door neighbor who's illegally in South Africa, has been deported? So why is he now back? And on top of that, he says, I know you're the one who called the police on me, and suddenly my life is in danger. What do we do, Mr. President? Because it still sounded like your speech was pro-illegal foreigners, but coming out as saying, illegal foreigners, we are going to do, you are breaking the law in the country, and we will do this, and we will do that, and this we will. Is the part that makes me think that this was a word salad of a 8th grader standing in front of a class with orals. That if I had to run a country or open a new country, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this. South Africa is 32 years old. Why are we still speaking in future tense? Why are we still speaking in future tense, especially when it comes to our national security? Fellow South Africans, I don't want to make this video too long. So fellow South Africans, it's clear we're still on our own here. I thought there was a strategy. And in strategies, there are deadlines, guys. You know, you put your heads together, sit down with your think tank, sit down with the lawyers for opinion, and then you work the plan. Okay, what are we supposed to do? Oh, me, I believe that we need to put a deadline. Now, that's the goal. And okay, to build up to the deadline, what else we need to do? We need to be firm. We need to be firm against illegal foreigners, where we will observe your so-called international laws and dignity. But South Africa is still a sovereignty, and we are going to use our sovereignty and the constitution of this country to send this illegal foreigner away. Okay, Wena, what is your take building up to the deadline? Well, I think that we need to start tomorrow. In fact, by the time you're done with your speech, the police should be raiding Hillbrow, Berea, Belleville, Point Road, you name it, downtown Johannesburg. We wake up the following morning, people are actually being lined up to be heard in the court, and then from there deported back to their countries, take their biometrics, and send them home. And those that come from afar, the governments, we need to force them to pay for their trip back home. It is ridiculous that you are going to speak to us about illegal foreigners, but Nigerians, Ghanaians, and all these West Africans are still in South Africa. That makes no sense. That means you are picking on who goes home and who doesn't. Until Nigerians are filled up in a plane and deported back to Nigeria, it's the day I will take this seriously. I've said it before. Expensive exercise, I know, but it was you who created it. And then what are we going to do building up to the deadline? Well, I think we need to start using our intelligence to hunt down those that are disrespecting South Africans, disrespecting South Africa, and those that are insulting South Africans. That's what we need to do. We got Minister of Communications and Technology. Why would we have him if he's not going to do his job? And then those are the people that, number one, we arrest. Number two, of course, they're mostly illegally in the country. We ban them from ever entering South Africa again. Because clearly they have no gratitude. Send them home. What about you? Building up to the deadline, what is your input? Well, my input is we need to overhaul all citizenships that were granted to especially African foreigners first, but we're going to do all the other nations that are here. We'll start with African foreigners that obtained citizenship as far back as 25 years ago. Because those citizenship were obtained illegally. That's the next speaker. Guys, I'm saying what I'm saying. If I was the president of South Africa and I have a think tank in front of me, this is what I would want to hear. So that I'll put together a speech and come and tell you. And then there's a deadline. There's a deadline. Now, what about you? Well, I think we also need to get the sister countries to contribute to the evacuation of their people. It's not like Zimbabwe doesn't have money. They do. They got mines. They got all this stuff going on. Nigeria boasts to be the giant of Africa. They got money. Ghana has money and is busy demonstrating through a PR stunt that increased this 300 per batch. Let's have lined up planes and get all your people out of here that are illegal. Charge them. There's another country, Ghana, they said it's going to sue us. Okay, what do you think we should do about that country? Well, I think we should charge them for all the taxes that they people were living here, running businesses that they were not paying. Charge them also for the free healthcare they've been getting from South Africa or South African hospitals, and the free education their children have been getting, the infrastructure they've been using, you name it. We need to get that money back before they go to court to sue us for compensation. That is what I want to hear from my team as president. And then I come to you and I say, fellow South Africans, we have a deadline of, and in building up to this deadline, as I am speaking to you as your president, there's raids going on all over the country. You are going to see them probably live on television, or tomorrow the media will show you what had happened overnight, and people, we see them at OR Tambo International Airport, Cape Town International Airport, King Shaka International Airport, Mthatha International Airport, Bram Fisher International Airport, Gqeberha International Airport. All of our airports are right now busy, and the towers are going berserk as I speak to you, fellow South Africans, because I take illegal foreigners' issue very seriously. 2, I forgot one of you guys have not contributed. You. What is your contribution to this? Well, Mr. President, I think we should make it very clear that rights and privileges are two different things. South Africans have rights. Non-South Africans have privilege. Privilege can always be taken away versus a right. You can't take a right away. And therefore, we need to make it clear that if you are a foreigner, legal or illegal, using our public facilities of any kind is a privilege to you, but it's a right to a South African. That's a good contribution. I like that. South Africa belongs to all who are born, natural born South Africans, from 4th all the way up generations. I get you. Good one. That's what I would have done as president to my people that gave me this power and prerogative. Not biting and blowing like a rat. I hope the UN did not hear that part. I also hope that what that man from Ghana again, you did not hear that, right? Okay, good. That's what Ramaphosa is saying. I threw my hands in the air and I envied the people that say, I don't listen to that man no more. And I was not listening to this man no more, by the way, guys. I wasn't. I kind of fell off the wagon when he introduced the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry last June. But I will only listen to him when it's important things like the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry being announced. The SONA, I don't bother. This issue of illegal foreigners, I was very invested. Word salad. That was not a strategy. That was a government telling us we are failures. And the part where he said he is going to send an envoy to sister countries, that part made me laugh. And I was like, what kind of envoy will this be? Is this going to be the envoy of people that are so far detached and out of touch with the realities of South Africans at grassroots level? Because I, as the president, would have said, in the next few weeks, I'm going to send a convoy of mixed South Africans, real South Africans with real issues that knows what the consequences have been of having illegal foreigners, so that those so-called sister countries get to hear their evilness. Whether one of the delegates is Jacinta Ngobese Zuma, or it is one of the Operation Dudula guys, or just an ordinary South African who comes from grassroots. Because you cannot hear as a sister country, because it's going to be a brotherhood, like how they do it in African Union. It's a brotherhood. Hey, my brother. Oh, my brother, don't bring my people back. South Africa is Africa, man. And these are the people you're going to be sending. They live in gated communities. They are not affected by illegal foreigners and the evils that they are committing against the people at grassroots. Those are the people you're going to be sending to the sister countries? You are not serious. Are you not serious? Because what is it the president of Ghana needs? He needs that kind of South African who will say to him, you are an evil man. straight on his face in his country. You are an evil man who is a failure to his people. And you, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, you are a liar. And as a result of your lies, you have negatively affected your people that live in South Africa. That's what you need. You need an ordinary South African in the, is it Envoy, Convoy, whatever, to tell Mnangagwa straight in his face, step down, you old, damn. That's what you need. And then you tell him what his people are doing to South Africans, why he needs to step down. He has no vision for Zimbabweans, etc., and so on. You need an ordinary South African in that task team, whatever, to Somalia, to Ethiopia. All these places where these people come from. We don't want people who are going there to drink cognac, laugh, and they say, oh, my brother, yeah, my brother, and they did not hear you. You need to come back with results that are implementable. We want to see the people leave when you come back. Their country's coming and taking the rest that is left. No. Budlala ngathi nje lo baba lona. Ebedlala ngathi. But two things I want to say in closing. The first one, South Africa is ours. Those communities are our communities. And we are going to be reporting illegal foreigners because we know them. And we expect the authorities to take them away, and we never want to see them in our communities again. The spaza shops, they are for South Africans, and it ends there. And you spoke about refugee centers. No, stop putting refugee camps too. And it ends there at the borders, not inside. We don't want to integrate with them. If you want to protect them, emngceleni. Do that emngceleni. Don't bring them to us. Asisabafuni. That's not incitement. That's my reality as a South African who's been through it with these people. Been through it with these people. And I'm not the only one. So no, asisabafuni. And the authorities better do their job. Because we're going to come back to the president and say, and then we'll take videos, don't worry. Our videos will be taken. They'll be published all over. When they come back to our communities after being arrested, we will show you, why is he back? Why is he or she or they back? The second thing that I want to say in closing, fellow South Africans, we are on our own. And I've said this before and I'm going to repeat it again. We need to start the conversation. It starts now, actually. To remove politics out of our lives. And we need to start speaking politics of the people. When I say politics, I'm not saying the politics. We are depoliticizing ourselves. We are going to deregister from political parties. We are no longer going to be supporting a political party leader. We are no longer going to be doing that. These people have sold us out. They are quiet. They say nothing. When they do open their mouth, they are against us. And I've said this before. It starts with these local government elections. If you cannot identify people in your community, yourself included, if you are capable, to run as independent candidates for your ward. And then the people of your community Vote for you and you only, no political party. Let's not have political parties returning to our city councils. Must be ordinary South Africans. Because we only have ourselves, guys. We need to take the politicians back to where they come from. You know, some of them were poor, no money, broke. And then you voted them in. Suddenly they thought they were better than you and they were more powerful than you. Some of them even come to you to show off their new toy. Suddenly they take vacations internationally, no longer Durban or Cape Town. They take videos and pictures in Maldives. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it is everything wrong when they are showing off all of those things and yet your community looks like a war zone. So let's remind them where they come from. 2029, we are going to do the same thing. And I think I am going to try and speak to South Africans for constitutional reform to push or at least make a court application on the electoral system of this country. It is unconstitutional. It is not the will of the people. We cannot be fed somebody because we voted a political party and they happen to be that party's leader to become our president. We want to directly elect our own president. And I think SACR can champion this in the court of law. I understand that there is a committee in Parliament that's dragging its feet. Once again, politicians. And I can tell you why they're dragging their feet. It's because the current voting system, it advantages every political party that is in Parliament, every one of them. So they don't want the electoral system to be changed. I'm just letting you know. If it's a secret, whoops, I took it out. But SACR should champion this one. And in order for SACR to champion this one, fellow South Africans, when you happen to have 50 Rand, 20 Rand, 10 Rand, go and contribute in their BackaBuddy account. Maybe someday during the week, I will show you the BackaBuddy. As a matter of fact, it's easy. You go to Google, you type SACR, it will take you straight to the BackaBuddy page. You click on SACR and then you are in there and then you donate. You can be anonymous. You can also reveal your name. It's up to you. Because this electoral system needs to be taken to court, the constitutional court. There is no way that we will be forced onto people we don't want them to be our president. No, we're done. So that is why, because we are on our own, let's see each other, guys. There are a lot of us that are capable. A lot of us that are capable. A lot of us are capable to run the ship. Maybe save it from the iceberg that it just hit. We need to stop believing in politicians and politics. We need to start believing in ourselves and our strength. I'm going to leave this video here. But what we got from the president tonight was hogwash. Hogwash. He was not saying anything. He was saying a whole lot of nothing. Word salad. No deadline to show the seriousness. nor at least appeasing South Africans that South Africa is for South Africans. Everything else would be through our courtesy. No. We must eat it because international law this, international law that. Anyways, you guys are gonna watch the video this morning. It was filmed last night. That's why I'm cold. Look, I'm wearing 2 of these, and the cold is affecting my throat as well. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you were Ramaphosa, give me 3 pointers. What would you have told South Africans about illegal foreigners? Or you agree with me? Anyways, please have yourselves a wonderful Monday. Take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and defend this country with everything you've got. It's time we denounced politics. Slowly start deregistering ourselves from these political parties that are not serving you and me. And then look to each other and say, I know who's capable amongst us to do this task. It's about time. Goodbye.